Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from the entitled Parent subreddit. Ooh, yeah, we're going there. From Miserable Piglet 847 and says, my parents want to give my sister the earrings my grandma left for me. This story is so weird. When I, 27 female, was 20 years old, I was in a relationship / friends with benefits situation with a guy, now 40 male. It was messy. We were on and off for almost 5 years. It was always clear he wasn't ready for a relationship, and I was always clear I was madly in love with him. Every time I got tired of the situation and wanted to leave, somehow he'd convince me to stay. Because love is free. We have so much time together and he wasn't ready for commitment. I asked advice of my sister, now 42 female, and she gave me some crappy advice that made him compromise. Leave stuff at his place and basically turn him into a boyfriend until it was too late for him to say no. I never managed to do that because I wanted him to love me as much as I loved him, not trap him. During the last night I spent at his place, he said he wanted to try something more serious with me. Talked about some dates he planned, etc. Only to ghost me forever. It was hard. This was the first person I loved and he treated me like crap. 6 months passed and my sister came home. We both lived with our parents, saying she wanted to introduce her brand new boyfriend. She's had a ton of boyfriends, but she said this was the one. It was a dinner only with my parents at our home, so I was excluded and expected to just go and chill out or chill in my room. The day came and while they were dining, I ordered a pizza and I came downstairs only to find the guy I was with 6 months prior with my parents and sister. I was shocked, but paid for my pizza and went to my room again to cry. After dinner was over, I confronted my sister in front of our parents and begged her not to be with him, to be loyal to me, her little sister. There was no way she didn't know who he was. I showed her pictures of him, his social media, where he worked, and she even knew where he lived. They never met because he didn't want to meet my family and never introduced his. But she knew who he was and she excluded me from that dinner because she knew. She said they met by chance after we stopped seeing each other. She knew how hard that rupture was. She knew how painful it was to not have even closure. He just stopped replying. Not even blocking me, just left me there wondering after 5 years. She knew that during those 6 months I was still hurting. I know how it was my fault. I was too naive and thought that if I stayed long enough, he would be ready for the relationship I wanted and would learn to love me. Stupid, I know. She defended herself saying it was a coincidence and chemistry was there. She loved him and she wasn't going to lose the love of her life. This stuff only happens once in a lifetime. When I was in my early 20s, I would believe that. However, now I know that there are 8 billion people in this world. There's no one love of your life. You can find the love of your life multiple times if you look for it. My parents sided with her and said I should get over it since we never had a real relationship. 1.5 years have passed. I've been excluded from multiple family gatherings because he would be around and my family thinks I will bring negative vibes since I'm still bitter about everything. I have no feelings for him, but I feel betrayed by my sisters and my parents. He is just a piece of shit in my eyes now. My sister is now 6 months pregnant. Due to her age, she has been extremely pampered by my parents. She still lives at home and is going to move with him maybe 2 months after the baby is born. Then she's going to marry. In my culture, it is normal if a woman gives birth and moves back or stays with her mum, so the mum will help with the baby for the first months. A week ago, my sister's friends made a surprise baby shower. I happened to be at home and I tried to talk to them. I don't know why. Maybe because my sister and I were so close before, and I'm sad we're no longer friends. But her friends acted like I wasn't there and only replied to me with yes, no, or silence, as I was the one that created this mess, or I was a homewrecker, or I tried to seduce my sister's man. I was planning to move already. I was saving money, etc., but after that, I left immediately to a friend's house. I'm in the process to find my own place. 2 days ago, I received a call from my parents asking me to have a talk. I went to the house and they informed me that the diamond earrings my grandma left me will be given to my sisters. Those earrings have been in my family for 4 generations, and before my grandma died, she said the earrings will be mine and my sister will receive a gold necklace. Grandma trusted my parents with the earrings. There was no will or anything, she just asked to give it to me when I was mature enough to appreciate/take care of a family heirloom. Now my parents think my sister is going to get married first and is having my grandma's first great-grandchild. My sister should have it. I'm really mad now. They're robbing me of something my grandma left to me. I don't think my parents are evil. I think they were worried my sister wouldn't marry due to her age. Again, in my culture, a single woman in her 40s is something to worry for a family. And now that she's forming a family, they want to reward her with everything. But I was the closest to my grandma. She made it clear the earrings will be mine, not my sister's. Not the first one to marry or have a child, but mine. After 2 years of being excluded in favor of my sisters, I gave the ultimatum to my parents. They give the earrings to me as my grandma intended, or I'll cut them from my life forever. Not gonna lie, the idea of cutting my family off is too painful, but I feel they already made me and still makes me so wrong. I don't want them in my life anymore. I feel a little shallow fighting over this, but those are the only things my granddad left, so they are not entitled to them. Now, Opie talked a lot about culture in this one particular story. I wonder what culture accepts infidelity, because I'm fairly confident that this is the reason he ghosted you, that he started sleeping with your sister or something along those lines. Again, I don't know the full ins and outs. It's just one of those, spider senses tingling there. But the level of betrayal in one post, I know it's going to be difficult for OP, so I don't want to downplay that at all. We grow up with these people, we're normalized by these people, but these people have still betrayed you massively. They've been abusive towards you by the sounds of it, and they continue to treat you shitty. Your sister brought this man who everyone knew was your ex into life, and instead of, trying to support you and say, hell no, this can't be happening, they sort of welcomed him in and pushed you to the side. It just shows you where you stand with these people. And that's absolutely heartbreaking for you, and I'm so sorry that you are having to deal with that, especially with the heirloom as well. That's rightfully yours. Part of me just wants to say, and I know it's very easy for me to say as always, I'm not in that position. I don't know the ins and outs of every small detail that's going on, what you've been through, etc. But part of me just wants to say, if you're able to, like always suggested in these posts, getting all your important stuff, getting those earrings, and just getting out of that situation if you can. These people ain't showing you any love. They're absolutely awful, and it breaks my heart for you. But Library Mouse says, get your hands on those earrings and keep them safe. They're yours and should be in your possession by now. Ask nicely, and if she doesn't give them up, tell her you will sue. Then do it. Just popped into my head, part of me would want to ask them, and I'd probably still get a rubbish answer from them, but just out of my curiosity, I'm not saying OP should do it, I'd want to confront them and say, what would grandma think of your behavior right now? What are you doing? It'd probably still be a negative outcome, but I'm always wondering about that kind of thing. But Messy Red Panda says, your parents and your sister are acting horribly towards you. Those earrings are yours, and you should put your foot down and get them. I understand they're doing everything they can to get her married and situated, because it's shameful that she is single at her age. For your culture, not in the real world, and for me. But they are throwing you out and disrespecting you in the process. As painful as it will be for you to cut them out, they have already discarded you. Slab Beef Punch says, I'm going to say it. Your parents are shitty and abusive. They will not give you those earrings, I guarantee it. You're still in the fog, so you won't believe me. Even though deep down you know it's true. If I sound harsh, it's because I'm incredibly angry on your behalf. I'm also sad for you. You deserve loving, kind, supportive parents. Unfortunately, you didn't get that. You're craving that so strongly that you force yourself to pretend they love you despite that many ways they've proven you don't matter to them. They're about to throw you away and it will destroy you. And that is just so awful and sad. I hope you have close friends who can support you emotionally. Aroma Lover says, my opinion, he ghosted you when she started to sleep with him. I was wondering what culture approves of a single woman getting pregnant and giving birth before marriage. The real fear is that after he walks away from her after the kid is born, he's not going to marry her. Which ones will be selling those earrings? OP responds saying, I'm not saying my culture is extremely strict, but there are things that mostly old people hold. You live with your parents until you leave your house in a white dress to marry, and you must be a virgin. But since nobody marries virgin, it's okay if you just married. But if you don't marry, at least have a child until it's late. Like I'm 27, and my grand aunt called me to say happy birthday and remind me since I was turning 27, my train is about to depart. And this great aunt who had 2 kids who did not know their father because she was 30 and childless, so it's better to be a single mother than to say dress for saints. This is something in younger generations are leaving behind for sure. But a big part of our culture is that your own blood comes first, no matter what. Family is family. I guess my sister and my parents chose to ignore this. Is morally grey or hypocritical because you take what suits you. D64 says, I guess you didn't get any of the jewelry. Your parents and sister showed you what kind of people they are and how they felt about you. Do you still live near them? I would have moved with no forwarding address and cut all ties. If you do get married, I would think twice about letting anyone in your family know about it. If you have children, I think your parents will always treat their first grandchild better. How could your sister have started seeing this man, knowing that he was your ex? Also, I think your parents are assholes for going along with this. Is the only reason they didn't care about your feelings is because they wanted grandchildren and were afraid that your sister would be an old maid. OP says, they probably were too worried my sister was getting old for babies, and I was only 25, so I had more time. I don't know. Every time I asked why they sided with her without having some sympathy for me, they said my relationship with this man wasn't anything formal. But still, this man was fucking me for 5 straight years and then went for my sister. And a final comment from Nearly Pointless who says, while I agree that your sister dating and marrying your shitty ex is distasteful, it doesn't play into the equation about the earrings. Grandma said they were for you. Anyone choosing to ignore that memory of your grandmother yet saying the birth of the grandchild will please grandmother, so we're going to dishonor her desires by ignoring her wishes, is lying. They're doing this to please themselves about this grandchild. I'm sorry your parents' integrity is compromised on this topic. The logic just doesn't hold up. I'm embarrassed for them. A couple of bits of relevant information which I left. OP said grandma left no will. She handed her jewelry and most of them were family heirlooms to everybody. My grandma was the 4th generation with them. I was 12 when my grandma died. She gave the earrings to my mum so I could have them when I was ready to take care of them properly. I always thought I would wear them on my wedding day or a very special day. Since I lived with my parents not so long ago, I never asked them because mum has them in a safe in her room with other important stuff. I don't know if they would care. I think they don't believe they're doing nothing wrong handing the earrings to the sister that is having grandma's first great-grandchild. But if grandma wanted that, she would have stated, the sister that has the first child must receive the earrings. She said they were mine. Honestly, entitlement. On the back of that, OP started talking about if she had access to the safe. OP says, yes, I still have keys from the house. I'm worried that I take them, there will be legal consequences. I have a text from my mum admitting the earrings were meant for me. I could use our extended family that knows our grandma's last wishes, but I don't think it will be enough. So OP updated the post 5 months later and says, this is old, but I keep receiving messages every once in a while asking for an update. Yes, I got the earrings. After my post, I went to my parents' house, opened the safe, took the earrings and left. Then after that, I went again. Told my parents I needed time to process stuff and be on my own, and gave their house keys and said I was leaving for good. There were some tears from my mum saying she couldn't believe I was such a bitter person. She raised me better. I was turning my back on my family over nothing. And finally, that it was shameful that I left the family house without being married or anything. So it was never about me, or she loving me, or anything but social pressure to keep an outdated tradition. My dad was very neutral. gave me a hug and wished me luck. For 2 months nothing happened and I barely had contact with my family. Found a place to live and tried to heal. Have real fun decorating my new home. Your normal stuff. And then everything happened at once. For 2 months my sister and mum never reached out to me. Only my dad sent me a text once a week asking how I was and wishing I was doing well. And then my sister's boyfriend / future husband / also my ex started to follow me on Instagram again. I found that weird, but anyway, after all, he's my sister's boyfriend and father of my niece, future brother-in-law, future my ex friend with benefits. Then he started to like my stories and then replying to them with heart emojis and looking good. This happened 3 times maybe. When I received the voicemail from my mum calling all sorts of names for going after a man that I knew was engaged. This was some kind of revenge over my poor sister, that I was causing her so much stress, her blood pressure level was over the moon. I was an inconsiderate femme fatale, and she raised me better. Later, I learned through a cousin that my sister took her fiance's cell phone and found several conversations with several women, including his attempts to talk to me. So, of course, she went to my mum crying about me trying to steal her fiance. All messy, to be honest. Less than a week later, another voicemail from my mum asking me, where are the earrings? She went looking after them, and when she couldn't find them, deduced it was me. She called me a thief, a disgrace, dishonored me, and said they didn't consider me family anymore. I was dead to them, and she will be taking legal actions against me for the theft, if it was possible. I had no option but to block her and my sister and other family members that sided with them. My dad later texted me to let me know my mum went nuts and they won't take any legal action. By the end of the last month, my cousin texted me saying my sister had given birth to my niece. I know I shouldn't, but I did it. I went to the hospital with a gift while wearing my beautiful and fancy earrings. I was kicked out, of course, but it was worth it. I have no plans to see them ever again. Well, maybe my dad. Also my cousin, big gossiper, that girl, let me know my sister is getting married in May, so she will have a happy ever after all. But I'm also living my best life right now. Man, just the absolute level of denial from that family. Opie said in their very last line that, that they're living their happy ever after, but are they really? Is this guy really going to stay faithful? It doesn't sound like it to me. Opie also mentioned that they may keep in touch with their dad, which when I've read it, I was like, yeah, I could probably see that. But then I thought, no, this guy has also enabled this behavior, hasn't called anyone out for treating Opie in this way at all, and has just passively sat in the background while his daughter has been treated in this way. Maybe there's more to that's going on with his side of things. I don't know, but from what I've read there, it kind of just felt like he was just happy to sit back and let this happen. But absolutely, Opie is better off out of that situation, and they said that they're living their best life, and that is what should be happening for them. Opie needs to absolutely stay no contact with these people, and I wouldn't even be letting any family members know your address, any of your phone numbers or anything like that. As soon as someone adds you on social media, block them immediately. Maybe even keep those profiles private as you can, because they don't sound like a family that's going to let up. They're going to find a way to accuse you of ruining things for whatever. Even if you're out of the picture, you still did this. When this guy does decide to finally cheat again, OP's going to be the one that's going to be blamed for it. In some weird, twisted logic, I imagine. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Would you stay no contact? Would you maybe contact the dad? Let us know your thoughts. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so, so much. And as always, I've been absolutely loving your pictures of your pet tag and sending me your various hobby pictures, etc. Like Caleb did yesterday, sending me their Warhammer miniatures and their painting. Absolutely amazing level of detail. Always love to see this sort of stuff. So please keep it coming. Even if you're just going out for a walk and you see something nice, I love to see what you're up to whilst you're listening in. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.